All I can say is wow. I'm gonna start out with some thank yous. So, first of all, thank God. I want to thank my wife who stood beside me, Tracy. Stand up. I want to thank Mayor Duggan, for your faith in me, making me your deputy mayor over the past 2 years. And so as I would travel around the city of Detroit being deputy mayor, folks would ask me after leaving the police department, do you really like being deputy mayor? I said, yeah, I do. I mean, it was wonderful, man. I was at so many ribbon cuttings across the city of Detroit. I was with Motor City Match. I was the candy man giving out grants and stuff. And so, as happy as some folks are that I'm about to become the interim police chief, there's a lot of folks out there saying, Deputy Mayor, what about us? Like, well, wait a minute, who's gonna do that? But what I can tell you is Mayor Duggan is brilliant when it comes to picking talent. And so you can rest assured that you're in good hands with, whom he's going to select for that. So I just wanted to calm folks down with me not being deputy mayor. Because the other question was, well, can you do both? Are you gonna be the deputy mayor and the chief? And so I actually asked the mayor, y'all. I said, I like being deputy mayor. Mr. Mayor, can I be chief also and deputy mayor? And he said, well, Todd, that's just, he say, nah. I need a full-time chief and I need a full-time deputy mayor because the citizens of Detroit deserve full-time chief and full-time deputy mayor. So thank you, Mr. Mayor, for that. Chief White of the Detroit Police Department, man, the chief, hit it like on the head. He selected me as his first assistant chief. We came up through the ranks together. We used to compete with each other, and we studied taking tests together, and so it was always going up. And I can tell you, he selected me as his first assistant chief, and it was my pleasure to work for you. When I became deputy mayor, folks was like, are you his boss now? I said, nope. I work for him as first assistant chief, and I still work for James White because he called me all the time. Todd, need your help with this. Hey, we're trying to get these police officer raises and with getting technology and working through. And so the mayor and I got to give it up to Detroit City Council as well because Council President Sheffield and all the council members that I have to talk to. If you go back and pull the records at every press conference I've ever did, I've always thanked City Council because we can have ideas all day, but they appropriate money. And so without the finance, there ain't too much happening. So let's give it up to City Council again one more time. The Board of Police Commissioners, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Commissioner Bernard. Thank you, Tamara Liberty Smith, Commissioner, and to all of them. They have a tough job, and a lot of folks think they get paid. They're the only board I know that meet every week. And not 1 hour, 2 hours. I mean, they really work. So, just for them and what they're doing with oversight, and the late, great Coleman Young actually set that police accountability mechanism up, and that doesn't exist across the country. And so we hear that is another reason why it's so much trust. This was established going back to even Coleman Young. My community folks, my community members who support me that are standing here today. Jim Ward, Radio Patrol, has always been out there, not getting paid. They get reimbursements, but doing it. Eyes and ears when I was with the police department. Reverend Wendell Anthony, you know how I feel about you. I mean, always back in 2020 when it was a lot of civil unrest, I called you, Pastor Mo, a lot of us came right in this room and we talked to Detroiters, and Detroiters said not in our city as far as things being torn up or anything. Of course, you got the right to protest, freedom of speech, etc. But you know, Detroiters, you got to check in with us and not our city as far as anything being torn up or destroyed like that. I got Southwest Detroit representing, standing up here. Laura, you know, wave. You know, she's the president of the SDBA. I got Keith Williams. I got so many others. With collaboration, that's what it's all about. We don't do anything by ourselves. And with the CVI, the Community Violence Intervention groups, with the crime that's going down, when you say community working together, and if we all believe that public safety is our North Star, and we keep that in mind, we can come together, putting differences aside, learning to trust each other, and that's why the city of Detroit is experiencing these historic lows when it comes to crime reduction. Absolutely. I want to talk to the Detroit police officers. Man, when I walked in the building, I was like, I'm coming back home. I'm here. And it's the men and women of the Detroit Police Department who are the absolute finest, who work, who, you know, even when they weren't getting paid what they should be getting paid, they stayed. And they have been putting it on the line, and I have been there for 27 years with them. And when I retired, I still was there watching, supporting. But I just want to give up. I just want everybody to give it up for the men and women on the street working patrol. And as I close, you know, I know I probably forgot somebody, but, you know, charge it to my head, not my heart. But the federal, the state, the local partnerships and the collaboration, whether it's the U.S. Attorney with our One Detroit partnership, whether it's County Executive Warren Evans and the strategic collaboration that we have, whether it's Kim Worthy, whether it's the MDOC, whether it's Judge McConaughey, all of it, and with our CVI groups, just everything. Negas Vu, Ray Winans, Force Detroit, New Air Detroit, the People's Community Action. It's just so many to go around. I got Eric Ford. Got to recognize Eric Ford because that's the Detroit 300.
That's right. Yeah.
The Detroit 300 has been standing beside the Detroit Police Department under multiple chiefs, just year after year after year. And so when we finally got to a point where we could come up with a way to actually incentivize the work that they had been doing free for so long, with the American Rescue Plan Act dollars, you know, that came from the Biden and Harris administration that we're so grateful for, the mayor said, put together a program for community violence that worked, you know, and that's what I did. And so with that, as I close, I'll just close and open it up for any questions.